There are pages of history so powerful, yet so hidden, that you begin to wonder if someone wanted them erased. One of those pages belongs to the story of the Ekumeku Resistance. The Ekumeku Resistance was a prolonged series of conflicts between the Anioma people of present-day Delta State, Nigeria, and the British colonial forces, spanning from 1883 to 1914. The Ekumeku movement, a vigilante group formed by Anioma youths, resisted British encroachment on their land and way of life, employing guerrilla tactics to challenge the colonial power. The year was 1883. The British colonial empire had spread its grip across much of what is now Nigeria. They came with guns, flags, and treaties written in a language the locals could not read. At first, their mission was disguised as trade, exchanging salt, mirrors, and gin for palm oil and ivory. But beneath that polite facade was a hunger for control. In the Anioma region, the people had seen enough to know what was coming. British officials were forcing unfair taxes, seizing land, and slowly dismantling the traditional authority of their chiefs. Entire farmlands were being taken for development projects that only benefited the colonial powers. From the shadows, a movement began to form. It wasn't a single army. It wasn't led by one famous general. It was a network, a secret web of farmers, hunters, traders, and warriors who became known as Ekumeku, a name meaning silent or stealthy one in the Igbo language. Their mission was clear: resist the British occupation by any means necessary. At night, they would move through the thick forest in small bands, cutting telegraph wires, destroying bridges, and ambushing supply lines. By day, they would blend back into their villages, carrying on as though nothing had happened. The British were infuriated. They could never find the leaders. The Ekumeku fighters communicated in code, using market songs, drum beats, and even the arrangement of yams and baskets to signal when an attack would take place. Their greatest strength was their invisibility. For almost 20 years, the Ekumeku frustrated the British. They refused to fight open battles, choosing instead to strike where the enemy least expected. Their tactics were so effective that British officers compared them to a ghost that appears and disappears before you can fire a shot. But as with many resistance movements, betrayal crept in. A captured fighter under torture revealed the names of several key members. The British launched a massive crackdown. Villages suspected of aiding the movement were burned. Entire communities were forced to relocate. By 1914, the Ekumeku Resistance had been crushed. Their story faded into the shadows, surviving only in whispers told by elders around evening fires. Colonial history books never mentioned them, and decades later, even many Nigerians had never heard the name. Yet their spirit lived on. The courage of the Ekumeku inspired later freedom fighters who eventually led Nigeria to independence in 1960. Today, few monuments honor them. No grand statues stand in their memory. But in the hearts of the Anioma people, the Ekumeku are remembered, not as ghosts, but as heroes who dare to defy an empire, because history is not just what is written in books. Sometimes, history survives in the voices of those who refuse to forget. If you find this video useful, like, share, subscribe, and follow this channel for more videos. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching.